Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to pre-order upcoming Force of Will sets, ccgprime.com for singles and supplies, cardodoko.com for those rulers in the international market looking for product, the Ruler School Circuit Series now taking orders on our Q1 2025 Skibdis Circuit Kits, and to our guest lecturer members, Vite Ramen and Casey Madden. Class is in session. Hey there, rulers. Welcome back after a long week of Force of Will and a very long week of Jeremy reckoning with the fact that he no longer exists on Facebook to your favorite ever live Force of Will podcast. It's Office Hours, featuring myself, DMO73, who has not been Thanos snapped in real life. And I'm joined as always by Mike Rance.
Jeremy who? Huh?
And Shunpo.
How's it going, everyone?
We are here. Good to see you guys. We have unexpected news to talk about, but I'm mainly just going to be chatting about our enjoyment about the game tonight. We got some good stuff to talk about, and just updates about things that people need to know that's going on in the Force of Will community. Specifically, if you like playing ABC and you want to play ABC more, you should go check out the online league series over on Discord that has now started up a weekly Wednesday and Thursday night ABC locals. So a great way to jam over there. And only one of the people who are playing is an incredibly obnoxious green-white player who targets a single player in order to be able to stop them from winning. Only one. Only one. It's okay. You're fine. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Get good, Jeremy. Get good.
It's not me. It's not me.
No, I know.
They know who they are.
Get good.
They know who they are. But anyway. So you could definitely go check that out. Also, this weekend is our Discord Ruler School Circuit event for the Wuxia Wu in a Power Suit mat. It is the 21st and the 22nd, so it'll be playing at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, and then Top Cut will be at noon on Sunday. Unless people want to play it out on Saturday. We've done that before, too. You earn 5 prize wall points for FowFest just for signing up. And you get cool 25 prize wall points if you win. And, of course, the top 8 mats and potential Uber champion mat of Wuxia Wu in a Power Suit. So you can check that out over on rulerschool.tcg.com. There's a link right in the description to go buy your tickets. You should go check those out. And you can also let your stores know, like it says in the intro, that the Skibdis for Q1 2025 circuit kits are now available for pre-order, and this is going to be the last circuit kit before FowFest, just so you know. So get your stores to buy their kits so that you have one last chance to earn your prize wall points, and you can jump in ready to go to take a bunch of my prizing from me at FowFest as soon as you get there. Mike is saying something muted to someone that we can't hear, and it's clearly funny. So, Mike, you have something you want to share with the class?
Nothing to share with the class. Just know that there is fun stuff happening in the household.
Yep, there you go. Fun stuff happening in the household. It's good. So definitely go check those things out. Lots of information to go through with all of those. Lots of developments here, which is pretty great. And with that, let's jump into some news. Because we got some unexpected news this week. We got the sell sheet for Masterpiece 2 coming out February 2025, which is going to be awesome. Which means very much likely that Skibdis Circuit Series events will be Fates Reunited meta, because it is now, I'll put it up here on screen, Fates Reunited is the name of kit number 2. Which is Masterpiece 2. That poster looks sick, and from what I can tell is also card art. Like, just straight up, the poster is card art. So let's go over some details here. Listen to the story, Traveler, for I will only tell it once. A long time ago, the greatest sorcery duel took place. The most powerful wizard, Gil Alhamat, faced the 2-6 sages, Feasting and Zero. They fought for the life of the young Kaguya, Princess of the Millennia. When they failed, they managed to make him retreat, but Feasting got axed. We knew this. She got axed in the original story. The world never recovered from such a tragedy, and neither did Kaguya, who cried and inconsolable for her adoptive mother. Power calls to power. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Using the ancient magic that Alhamat sought to destroy, Kaguya, with the help of Flute, altered the flow of time. The hands of the clock turned back, hours turning into days, into weeks. Kaguya did not stop until she had gone back beyond what made Alhamat evil wizard he was. And so Gilhamat never existed. He never ended Feasting's life, and time continued its course, advancing inexorably towards a different future. But for Kaguya, nothing changed. Feasting was alive. Kaguya knew that the sage wasn't the same person, so she decided to never meet again. The story ends, if not happily, at least bittersweet. So, this seems to be like a what if retelling, where instead of getting corrupted by time spinning, she just actually legitimately time traveled. It's kind of the vibe that I'm getting here. So Kaguya kind of just created a branch timeline. She stole the time stone and created a branched timeline. And now we're here. Let's set aside of all Force of Will clusters. Each masterpiece is an exclusive collection. New support from Force of Will's past, giving them the new story and giving them a focus and tons of new cards. Fates Reunited has support for the Lapis cluster, which is the most popular characters from Force of Will of all time. Zero, Feasting, Gil Lapis, Kaguya, Lumia, Lilia's Petal, Priscia, and many more. The themes of the new and old themes of this set will delight any veteran player and any new player. The new mechanics, Fate, which we've already known, that's the sub-ruler mechanic. Excuse me. Just casually dying. And Reunited, which we don't know what that text does at all, await you in this unique collection, as well as some good number of powerful cards reprinted at a reduced rarity to make it easier to obtain some of the best cards in the game. This is what they did with Pilgrim Memories, right? Dark Alice, Rabbit Princess, Cheshire Cat, Mikage Rhea, Garion, Inferno, Layla, Gatekeeper of Velsivaria, like Flute, staple after staple after staple, Ray Astable, Institute, like all of these insane, Dracula, Tsuya, all these insanely good Wanderer staples got reprinted at the normal rarity level into the set, which was just insane. Maybe even the rare set. It might have been the rare rarity, but you got like 3 rares per pack. So it's like you got so many of them. And so what we know is we got some cool artwork here. The buy a box promo information, like I said, is very clearly the promo art for the poster. Extra promo cards, the buy a box pack. You have the buy a box promo, which is 1 kind per pack. The extra promo secret Uber, so 25 different. It's probably, I would imagine it's the 25 Marvel rares come Uber in this set, because the set has 25 Marvel rares. So you get a random box hopper Uber, and then an extra promo, the ABC multi-attribute cards. You get 3 random of the 10 ABC cards per printed per box. So that was what they talked about at Worlds, where things like Arlequin, like the other multicolor ABC consensus cards will get reprinted in into the box hopper packs. So you get 3 per box, which is pretty good. Like, it's a good way to fill them. And then just to go over some details here, we've got some card art, which clearly features Zero, good Ryula wielding a sword, which I think is neat. Valentina being a blue-black Valentina card. Priscia with her stone as clearly one of the rulers or one of the fate cards. I honestly don't know looking at that border. And then the Grimoire, the black-white Sherry card. Interesting that Sherry is somehow related to a black-white card. She's almost always been green-black, so that's weird. And then we've got 58 normals, 25 rares, 1 rare J ruler, 31 super rares, 8 sub-rare sub-rulers, which are probably more fate cards, as we've seen before, 25 Marvel rares, a ruler that's by itself, which is probably Darktree. So we're getting the Darktree rework in this set, I can only imagine. 24 ruler/J rulers, which is the reprinted rulers from the alt set. 1 J ruler, which is sides 2 and 3 of Alhamat. Just like they did with it's probably the third side of Alhamat twice, right? So you need to get 2 of them to have the third side of Alhamat. Just like they did that with the 10th anniversary collection as well. They had like another card that was like the two halves or whatever.
Sad. I like fold out.
Yeah, but it's hard to put into packs. Like it was
No, I
pretty impressive they
understand.
did it the first time. 3 sub rulers, 4 extension rules, 25 secret cards, which is the Ubers, and then 2 special secret cards, which is the like probably like the side Uber, like the Grim the Grim contract Uber that was signed in the last one. And then no pre-release kit for this one, obviously. Not unexpected. The Masterpiece collections won't ever have pre-releases. And then the box art is very clearly a person wearing Zero's clothes. Or like similar clothes to Zero, but that is some brown hair, which Zero has never had. So we have no idea who that is. So, yeah, that's Masterpiece 2. Mike, as someone who played competitively in Golden Era Lapis Cluster, including at Worlds in Golden Era Lapis Cluster Force of Will, what are you thinking? What are you thinking about this?
This makes me extremely happy. Correction, I played Rhea Cluster into Valhalla at Worlds. I actually didn't play
that's
in
true.
2017. Come on now.
Sorry, my
I was
bad.
still playing, obviously. I was still definitely playing, like, competitively, making a lot of content during that time, too.
Right.
Like, one of the first videos was, top 10 cards of CFC. Like, that's one of Deepwood's
Right.
first.
Right.
So, like, seeing this all coming back to fruition and stuff like that, more support for these old rulers is really cool. I'm genuinely curious what the design philosophy is going to be going into this.
Sure.
Because Lapis Cluster is very text low, mechanic heavy, from what I
Sure.
remember. Sometimes even more so than Grim Cluster. Grim Cluster had a lot of like explanation text
Sure.
on a lot of its stuff. But like Lapis was like, you know what this does. Go ham, King. And like I'm curious how much we're gonna see like modern FOW design philosophy kind of like mesh.
Yeah, a lot of Lapis Cluster mechanics were attached to the ruler. Like it was the idea, it was like very ruler oriented focus. The main deck cards themselves like had a clear like synergy with a certain ruler, and sometimes they had a mechanical attachment, right? Like the reincarnation mechanic, like being able to like sack a stone with like green red. But it was a lot of like these are going to do generic things that then synergize really well with all the text that's on your ruler. Like it was very ruler heavy, which is one of the reasons.
That's
like
the big thing that.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say. I think we were about to say the same exact thing. Where it's like that's the reason that Lapis Cluster is so fondly remembered, especially because people always forget Lapis Cluster's ruler-focused design philosophy comes right after the banning of Reflect Refrain when we were coming out of those formats.
Yeah,
there was
for
such a huge like spike up in terms of ruler synergies versus just like I'm gonna play 40 really good cards and then reflect
refrain. Yeah, for sure. I think it is. I think it is ironic though that Golden Age FOW, if you look back at that time, right when it was New Frontiers, there were like 5 decks in like what was called Golden Age, right? It was like Blue Black Valentina 3, Charlotte Stealth, Feasting Gwyber, right? Valentina 2, like J Ruler heavy, and then like Arla Stone combo, or Flicker Lumia, and like Flicker Lumia, and then you had like rogue stuff like Arla Stone combo, and you're like, cool, that was like 5 decks. And then I look at like current FOW, and I'm like, I mean, I guess you could kind of argue with me or not. I'm curious your thoughts. Like, I would argue that in main FOW we currently have like 7 to 10 like viable decks of like variety of like things that you could bring to a tournament and like based on pairings and based on matchups could do well with. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess based off of like how last year's comp season went, yeah, I think that's like 7. I say 7 to 8. I don't know about 10, but like I think 7 to 8. I'd say yeah.
Yeah, so that's fun. I think that's really funny that like our Golden Age had 5 and we're in an age now that has like 7, and we're like, wait.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that like Golden Age not having quite as many nowadays, but the decks being like so like succinct and so like you know exactly what this deck's doing the
Sure.
moment you see that ruler flip over,
Yeah,
which
for
is
sure.
really cool.
Right.
And if you wanted to play it a little bit weird, you could do what I did like a moron at the ARG Philly thing in like 2017 and bring 1-inch boy Charlotte to just try and spike your tree matchups, and then turns out just sticking an Abdul wins the Fox matchup. So oops, I guess I found that out.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, the interesting to me too, like this is the interesting point. I think Pilgrim Memories did a great job, I think, of reminding people of like it hit the nostalgia factor for a lot of people. Like it got people to be like, "Oh wait, it was really a big signal, I think, to old guarders or people who were like played before that they were like, "Oh, wait, Force of Will remembers what old cards are?" Like, you know what I mean? Like it was kind of a signal for that. Lapis, this set, I think, especially based on how the new support goes, the fact that you will get every ruler for Lapis Cluster in this set, like that's going to happen. And
Especially because LEL was short printed, if I remember correctly.
right, but like
Either short printed or it was just low on like.
you will get every ruler, so any ruler that you wanted to play, if you don't have them anymore, you'll be able to play, and they get new support. There's a world where I'm like, based on what like Wanderer format staples get printed into this, I'm just like, man, this is kind of like a really easy set to just jump back in to Force of Will. Like, really, really easy. Like, you don't like new ruler design? Great. What if we made your favorite rulers from when you were primarily playing Force of Will competitively suddenly currently legal and currently viable? Who needs to read when I know the old rulers? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Who needs to read when you're playing a card game, baby? Let's go.
Let's go. Leliel was the perfect set.
Yeah.
Masterpiece sets have been amazing, even if a few of the cards in the last one have been overtuned. Honestly, best thing they've done maybe in the history of the game. Yeah, for sure. Like, this to me is like,
Yeah.
Man, I want, there's a part of me that because we open up so much product on the channel that like I know that I'm going to open up. It's like this weird toss up, right? Where I kind of want to like take a bunch of my spare boxes that I know I'm going to get and just mail them to old guarders. Just be like, play Force of Will again. Here's a box. Here's a box of the new set. You have ways to play online every single week that are free. Come back. Like, let's just see what happens.
Jeremy, do you need my Jeremy? Do you need my
Yeah, just
address?
DM me your address, man. It's good. We'll make it happen.
DM you or Discord message you?
Discord message me.
Oops.
See, that's DM. That's Discord message.
Yeah, there you go.
See,
Perfect.
um,
Something very interesting that I just had kind of a weird like shower thought pop up.
sure.
If we were to run a format literally called Masterpiece format, where the only cards legal were cards printed in Masterpiece sets, what would that format look like?
Say that one more time.
So if there was a format where only Masterpiece cards, like cards printed in a Masterpiece set, were legal to play,
It's like MP1,
nothing
MP2.
else. Yeah,
See,
MP2 we don't know yet. Obviously,
I honestly
but
don't think that would be very good.
it might not be.
And
I'm
here's
curious,
why.
though.
And here's why. Because of the fact that all of the old core support for these rulers, it would come down to what old core support also gets printed into the set, right?
That's kind of what makes me curious, though.
Right. So that's the interesting piece. Gates tier 0. Probably.
Probably. Yeah.
Once we have a full cluster of it. I will say, interestingly enough, you missed this last week, Mike. The floor rules for Force of Will have officially reintroduced a definition for new frontiers. Which is interesting. So it's 3 clusters, the 3 most recent clusters plus the most recent Masterpiece set.
Ooh. Okay.
So
All right. You have my attention, I spy.
yeah, so it's let me make sure that that's exactly the right definition for it. So it was introduced kind of, and like we talked about this last week, how it's definitely something that let me find that thing. There we go. Thank you. It's
Oops,
one of
mouse
those
got
things.
broken.
No, it's my
I
mouse
know.
is unable to control. So it's one of those things where, yeah. So New Frontiers, starts with is effective November 29th. So it's effective as of now. You can play New Frontiers at this very moment. This format is based on a cluster rotation. Hero cluster onwards in New Frontiers. Player may use the cards from the last 3 clusters released and the latest Masterpiece collection. Cards in Memoria collections, so those would be like the ones that are in the box topper reprint packs,
Yeah.
cannot be used unless they belong to a set of the last 3 clusters or they are a reprint of a card that belongs to a set in the last 3 clusters. So, and it uses the exact same ban list as New Frontier as Wanderer. So, starting at Hero Cluster, you move forward. So anything prior to Hero Cluster is not included, even though it's technically part of the 3rd cluster released, but it's just starting at Hero Cluster. So right now we have Masterpiece 1, Hero Cluster, Trinity Cluster. When Masterpiece 2 gets released, we lose Masterpiece 1, and then Devil Cluster will drop, and we'll add Devil Cluster to New Frontiers. And then when Masterpiece 3 comes out, we lose Masterpiece 2, and probably will also lose Hero Cluster at that time. And so it moves forward that way.
The next one coming.
Yeah. So it's a little bit more complicated, but it is officially defined and a bigger card pool than New Frontiers ever was, which I think is very interesting.
That is really interesting to me. Yeah. That sounds really fun, actually.
We've actually said that we will be offering, and we'll make some announcements about it. We will be offering New Frontiers side events at FowFest. So if people want to try it, they can in an 8-person single elimination event. So we're not shifting the main focus of the primary event, and I don't think that Force of Will is trying. I do not believe that Force of Will is trying to shift their focus away from Wanderer. Like, I think that is still very much their intention, but I think there are people who, are interested, like officially defining it instead of just leaving it open to people who prefer a rotational versus an eternal format is nice. I think it's nice. And
I will say, as somebody who has been a proponent of Wanderer for many, many years, Wanderer's big selling point was that it was made for a smaller pool of players who want to play eternal formats.
Right.
When the main set to focus on, and the one that pushes back, obviously, is the New Frontiers format. This is very, very cool. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the moment Wanderer blended into like the main focus of the game and like not really focusing anything on New Frontiers, we lost a little bit of the charm to Wanderer. So this is very cool to kind of get some of that back and give players more options.
Yeah. Shimbo, what are your thoughts on New Frontiers? You kind of, from what I remember you getting in, it like you got in when we were in Wanderer, right? New Frontiers was never something you played in.
Yeah, so I came at the beginning of Underworld Secrets, so the second set of Hero Cluster.
So yeah, we were in Wanderer at that point.
Yeah, so it was cool to hear that. I didn't know that actually that you guys were in like New Frontiers at that time. So like I heard there was changes, but I didn't know when it happened and whatnot. But I mean I prefer Wanderer personally. And this is as someone who like was behind like 10 years, like or 8 to 10 years worth of cards, like. But it was a lot easier for me to come in, so because I'm like, okay, well, yeah, my old cards are legal. Yes, they've been like power crept to high hell probably, but it's nice to know that my cards still have like some sort of value, and so it was nice, like just to after like getting the right cards and whatnot. I still like the wander aspect because there's in my eyes a higher skill ceiling, at least for competitive play. Like I have to be aware of more cards now. So I like the more like there's more skill required in like just having the knowledge of these cards,
for sure.
as opposed to like New Frontiers, which of course is nice. I'm not like saying like it's bad. It's just you're just like a limited card pool, so there's less stuff you have to worry about.
Yeah.
So like it's less knowledge you need on cards and whatnot.
Yeah, I like that approach, because I do definitely think that it's like a lot of Jeremy, geez.
Sorry, just dying.
But I definitely agree though, because I do think that like when I was playing Wanderer, it was definitely like a skill testing kind of game when I was compared to playing in New Frontiers. But New Frontiers was interesting because it gave a different sort of like, I'm not going to say like creative avenue, but something similar to that. It's like, what can you do with this limited card pool? And
Yeah.
did the things that you put together create the best possible deck in that scenario?
I think the recreation, the reintroduction of New Frontiers creates an interesting possibility once we're at a full, like, creates an interesting possibility for the end of a season. I honestly wonder if there's a world where, like, you have one GP a season that's New Frontiers. The primary focus of the whole season is Wanderer, right? But then you're like, last GP before Worlds, especially if it's like right before a new set drops. So, you know what I mean? Like the timing of it, right? Like we're about to drop a new set in like 3 weeks. So the ban list for Wanderer will get updated to whatever the world's complicated ban list is. So let's do a New Frontiers GP and just kind of like finish it out. You know what I mean? One New Frontiers GP a season, if we get more GPs, let me preface that. We would certainly need to expand the number of GPs that are offered over the course of a season so that we don't like feel like it's taking away one of the few opportunities, right? But an expansion, even into it, like even have it be one of the Discord like GPs.
Yeah.
Like make one of the
I'd be down
Discord
for that.
GPs, make one of the Discord GPs into a New Frontiers event, right? So then it's like players who are newer into the game don't have to worry about as much, right? Because it's a smaller card pool, and they don't have to travel, right? So they can just try it, and because it's an online event, it'll probably have just
more inviting, probably huge attendance.
Yeah, right. So you just like have one of the Discord GPs every year be New Frontiers, and the rest of them be Wanderer, and like I think you got a recipe for doing some spicy. Because also here's the thing: Force of Will one time tried a limited Force of Will GP, and then didn't do another one for a reason. I helped run it. It was just not super well attended, and it just like didn't really catch people, right? But this is a way to do a limited pool style event that is still constructed and feels more stable in a riskless environment, right? So I think that'd be neat. They should do both for Worlds. Someone's saying,
"Ooh, baby."
I don't know about that.
Wait,
I don't think
Frontiers for Swiss and then Wanderer
you need
for
like a
top 8.
longer timeline for Worlds. Then like you need to have like, hey, this is like for Wander. Like these days are for Wander, and then like the next days would be like for New Frontiers, maybe. But like that would be like again. Like,
here's my only thing about this. This is my only thing that I would think of that you could do for that, but I don't think the company will. I would be fine with a Wanderer main event, New Frontiers side event, right? Where like day 2 is like a single is like a Swiss to standing top 4 cutoff like New Frontiers event, right? That I'd be fine with that because like most people are burnt out on playing. Jeez, Louise, Mike's camera getting him caught up.
Is like they caught up.
Like so some is your back now? It's fine. So like some people like after playing Wanderer all day on day 1, I think it's one of the reasons why the ABC side event at Worlds is so popular is because no one wants to play Wanderer after day 1 of Worlds. Like everyone's like, we did it, we're done. Like format can be put in the rearview mirror. I don't think about it, so they just play ABC format. But like if you tell people that there's gonna be like a New Frontiers thing, I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. You know, I think that would be kind of fun. The other thing that you're better at New Frontiers and ABC than Wanderer. The other thing that you could do, so hear me out. The other thing that New Frontiers is absolutely phenomenal for is like convention circuit tournaments. 'Cause you can like, it's a smaller scale, so you can like bring product or bring like new boxes, and then people could like invest in boxes and then like play in a New Frontiers tournament at a convention and not feel like they're gonna get blown out by someone who has been playing the game for like 7 years, right? So like there are upsides to the existence of New Frontiers being fully developed and fully defined. I don't want it to split their focus in terms of like trying to successfully monitor and maintain two things makes it so they actually do bad at both, right? I don't want them to. It's the idea of like don't half-ass two things, whole ass one thing.
Whole ass one.
I think it's very easy to, now that we have New Frontiers defined, you can very easily show it some love as a side note without getting distracted from Wanderer, and I hope that's what they execute on. So,
yeah, and again, to read at your point, it's okay to have an New Frontiers as a GP as long as we have more events as well.
correct, 100%.
Again, we need more events. Like that's the main thing.
Yeah,
more events.
Expand the event pool, and then you can do more events, like more event formats. Like you need for sure. I mean, FowFest is a GP now.
Yeah.
Forcible Festival and Forcible Festival and GP. 3 invites to top 8, or 3 invites to first, second, and third. And if we break 70 players, first place gets a paid invite instead of a non-sponsored invite. So like, come to FowFest.
We had like 65, 66, I think, last time.
With no invites. No invites.
We never have a good time.
Listen, I might be able to convince Mike Rance to come out and play in FowFest if I give him a deck. Your words, not mine, Mike. You have said that to me. That if I give you a deck, I might be able to get you to come out. So
I would like to make the trip up. That'd be nice once I'm not doing what I'm doing.
You got 6 months. You're good. Just travel with Charlie. I'll give him his flight itinerary. You can travel with Charlie. It's fine. He's coming over to be my head judge again.
Travel with baby boy.
I just ordered. Speaking of stuff for FowFest, I just put the down payment on the commission for the Bianchi jacket. So the Bianchi cosplay is moving forward.
Hey.
Hooray!
For
what a time for his internet to die.
Jeremy. Damn it! Did I lose my fucking internet right at that time?
Yep, it's so funny. It's so funny.
I'm sorry, Mike.
I'm gonna go to a 5G. Hang on one sec.
Wouldn't be an event without Mike trying to mock me and then his internet saying no.
I'm on the 5G now. Am I doing better?
A little bit. The race is on to see who will show up to FowFest first, you or Mike. Chronomage, I hope you come out to FowFest too, bud. I hope to see everybody there. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Why not both of us?
Or both. Yeah, exactly. Or both. So with that out of the way, with that kind of talk about, future stuff, event stuff, the hype about Lapis Cluster. I mean, like, there's every single ruler in Lapis Cluster, except for maybe like Light and Dark Book, are ones that I would like absolutely try and play again, hands down. Like, I'm gonna
Light and Dark Book.
I'm gonna play Lilia's Petal. I'm gonna play Lumia. I'm gonna play Charlotte. I'm gonna all of them. Like, hell, I'll send messages to the entirety of old Team Ogre and be like, "Hey, yo, guys, come on back."
Damn.
Oh, by the way, you know what else is in Lapis Cluster? If I remember correctly, isn't? Because hold on, maybe I'm wrong. I gotta hold on. Because if I'm wrong, I'm gonna stop talking.
Alice Cluster.
Dang. Okay, never mind. Arla Stone combo. You saw it on my back. Yeah, you see it. Sorry, Arla Stone combo is not there, but the rest. I mean, Feast and Gwyber. You literally the entirety of Golden Age format in terms of like the main decks that were played during Golden Age format are all in Lapis Cluster. So like they are all, you can bring them all back. Quick, somebody message Benjamin Bargetzi. We'll get that man to come to FowFest. Heaven knows he can afford it. You're trying but headed to Japan in March as well. Listen, Japan is in March. You got April, May, June. That's 3 months. You can make it.
That's
It's
plenty
fine.
of time.
That's plenty of time.
Nice little 2-day trip. Easy
It's
peasy.
easy peasy. Easy peasy.
Easy
So
peasy.
let's talk about ABC pre-con experiences. What that's been like, and let's talk about for Shunpo and I new set stuff. So Paul's not here. Mike, you have not played with the new ABC precons, but you have played with the originally designed ABC like sample precons. And then Shunpo and I have been playing we've been playing with the new ones. Overall, kind of like using the precons as your introductory experience into ABC, or like trying them out as those of us who are experienced with ABC. What's that been like for you guys?
Oh, to me. Okay,
Who's
sorry.
going first?
I thought Michael was gonna go.
Yeah.
Okay. No, so I actually haven't had the chance to play with the precons. We were actually gonna have a precon night, but then I actually didn't have sleeves. So, but I personally would have tried to actually not the green black, just because like I really like my green black. So I'm like,
Yeah, for sure.
like nothing against the green black, but like I'm sorry, it's inferior. Like it's just like
We've
so
told our green blacks too much.
yeah. So like, but I would have tried the red black deck actually. Just 'cause it has like a lot of like again like progressive plays. I'm constantly doing stuff. It's got Virgil, of course, one of the best finishers in ABC. So
although it significantly got weaker because of
yes,
the new rules, which was great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think I would personally would have tried red and black if I had the opportunity to.
Sure.
The one thing I can definitely say, if you are in a pod as a blue-green player and your pod mates are a blue-green player, a blue-green player, and a blue-white player, don't play that pod.
Yeah.
Nothing happens for 5 fucking turns. It was awful, but I had to play the Deepwood ruler because I am Deepwood and I pulled the acrylic, and that was the only reason that I was playing that boring ass deck. And then I played against the Germans who had 3 different decks, and it was actually a lot of fun, and I had a really good time.
The new green blue one, new green blue one, while having the most errata reprints in it, is actually, I think, really well designed. The rulers that they chose for it are very nice. It does not feel very stagnant. It feels like it has some very cool gimmicky stuff. It also plays like 6 kimonos, right? So you can play like a little bit of like K4 shenanigans, addition stuff. It plays into the archetype very well. That's, in my opinion, all of them on paper, I think, play very well to 2 of the like 4 rulers that are included in them. I think, at least when you look at the deck lists, right? I think that like there's a very clear emphasis on like because they can only put so much stuff in there, right? I think there's
60 cards, yeah.
I mean, there's only 60 cards, 4 of which are the rulers, and they have to kind of give you the emphasis on like the ones that have the new rulers in them. They have to give you kind of an emphasis on there, right? So like the red white Electra deck, right, is making use of a lot of stuff that has good enter effects for Lumia. It's got primarily humans to go with like Mika in terms of like racial stuff. There's some strength power counter stuff there for Lilius, but mostly she's just there because good red ruler is good. And then Grim is also like kind of there because there's like a tiny little fairy tale package a little bit, right? But like that deck very clearly has 2 that it's really, really focused on. Same with like blue-white, with like Replicant Aristella, and then there's like a pretty decent sized soul package there. Green-white plays into Gnome very heavily, right? There's all kinds of like a clear focus with each ABC deck that I think is really nice. Like it gives you a little bit of something to play into the 4 rulers they chose without being too heavy-handed with them. All of them feel like they have good staples in them. All of them feel like they have good powerhouse cards, good finishing cards. One of the things that I was super worried about when they were first working on this was I was really worried about the green-white one. Like really, really, really worried about green-white because green-white has a very heavy tendency when you're first building it in ABC to just be like, let's just play every cancel spell. And I'm going to tell you, it's obnoxious. Like, you never win. Green white will like pretty much never win if you play just like oops all cancels, because you have 3 players that you're trying to cancel all their stuff for, and therefore you can't, because you run out of resources to cancel it, and 2, you're not progressing any game state. I think they did a really good job with green-white of having a mix where we've got some cancel elements, but not all of them. And they've got really good like protection elements, but they've also got like presence and like the ability to close out a game, which I think,
And some board clear too.
and some board clear
As well.
too.
Yeah.
So I think it's it's a thin line when you're first looking at green white, but I think they did a really good job with green white in this one. So yeah, it's like a main, main A, main B, and then 2 little side little mini packages, which I think is really cool, and that's been really fun to me. I'm finishing up this week sleeving up a base rare copy of all 10 ABC or all 11 ABC decks, so that I can just have them permanently sleeved in a box, available for anyone to try and borrow, and we will have them available at FowFest for people to try and borrow. Green white was the most straightforward deck overall. Yeah, which is fine. It's allowed to be straightforward. Gnome seems cool. There's a lot of fun to be had there. I really recommend people check out the OLS on Wednesdays and Thursdays to try that out. Build that up so we can start playing ABC more and maybe start streaming it. I don't know. If I was single, which I'm not and have no intention to be ever again, I would like join the Thursday night OLS and like just stream playing ABC sometimes. I think that would be fine. Red green is a lot of fun. Gnome is cool. Blue Eyed Treasures deck, that's pretty cool. I think there's a lot of fun stuff that you can build. I do I want to ask your experience as a fellow green black spike player. How many green black ABC cards, like from the decks, did you actually end up putting in your ABC deck for green spike? I think it's like 4 for me.
Yeah, it was Sentinels.
Yep, because it's just better Guardian Dragon.
Yeah. Gone.
I didn't do Gone. I thought about it, but not enough of my stones have a stone type.
Yeah, I have to change my stone base.
Yeah, I'm not willing to change my stone base.
I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna give it a shot.
Okay. I put Reinhardt in.
Yes, I need to add Reinhardt. That's
because Stony King is insanely good.
Yeah. So I first I looked at him like, I don't know how good this could be, honestly, and I'm like, and then someone played him and he explained it. I'm like, oh wow, this is insane.
Yeah, Stoney's like, really good.
Oh.
Let me get my green black ABC deck real quick.
Oh yeah, go for it. And it felt really good when I went to Oscar contract and I just ripped the guy's Stony King and then it went off.
Yeah, take their Stony King and be like, I'll use that. Let's see, what did I end up putting in? So yeah, it was only 3. It looks like it might have only been 3 cards that I put in. Yeah, Sentinels for sure. Oh no, it was more. So I put in Doubt, Priest of the Dark Truths, because he just requires you to have an Arcana ruler.
Right.
So that's fine. I put in Swordsman of Niflheim because I like even more being able to like control any player's position, right? Sentinels, Stony King. I think that might have been it. So 4 cards. They almost got me to take out my Solarias of Darkness and of Wind, and I went, nah, I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh, you know what I interestingly didn't do? I didn't, as a green black player, this might be blasphemy, I didn't put in Sigurd.
Fair. I mean, I know because we can grab the graveyard.
Yeah, interdimensional graveyard, but I'm like, how do I get Sigurd consistently to grave in my deck that's not a heavy graveyard reanimator deck? Like, I haven't built my deck to be heavy graveyard reanimator, so I'm just like, I have Rhea, and that's it. So like,
and then maybe Soul Hunt,
and then maybe Soul Hunt. If he's in my hand. So I was like, is it weird that I'm not putting Sigurd in this?
No,
maybe it's not.
Yeah. I know we
I
talked about it, but I was like, yeah, I didn't want to do it.
I,
It
I don't
felt
think Sigurd
awkward.
is necessarily meh. I just think in the way that I've built green black to not be like constantly dumping cards into the graveyard, Sigurd
Yeah.
like just didn't have a place, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I think if you were playing like a heavy lich deck, then like Sigurd's great, right? But
Yeah.
like I didn't change any 4 of my rulers, just kept them. I don't know if that changed for you either. If you changed any of your rulers, but I didn't change any of mine.
No, not yet. No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I'm no.
I did take out
So
Liberation of the Winds. I think I'm gonna take that out. Keeping Liberation of the Darkness though.
yeah.
That one's not going anywhere. That turns Mikake Rhea into a ramp card, which is insanely good. Speaking of getting incredibly excited about ABC stuff, there's a lot of stuff that you can do with it. There's a lot of stuff that you can take away with it. There's a lot of really good cards for Wanderer in the ABC decks. If you watched the remake Ruler Rumble from last week, you saw how absolutely insane Gon is in a Kilo deck. Card is so good. It's just better Ice Melter. Who cares about not burning your opponent for 6 when you can just make a 20/20 with Eternal and Pierce? Like, great. Like, all kinds of good stuff. So I definitely recommend that. But I do want to ask then, Shimpo, what has your experience been playing with the rulers from the new set?
Yeah, so I don't get to play obviously as much as other people do because they have like in-person locals.
Right.
But I'm personally toying with like Moonglow right now.
Yeah.
But there's so many ways to build Moonglow. Like it is insane. He's so versatile.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what is really like, like an idea, like the most like, I'm not really much a builder, but like I try to make something,
Yeah.
like as optimal as I can, with my skills. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many options with him alone, and I'm like, and being a Seer player too, it's like I'm like so focused on him.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like I want him to work really well, and I think he can be really good. It's just I don't know, like what is the correct way, I guess.
Yeah, I think, you can build him like full burn, you can build him control, you can build him very heavy on ambush, you can build him to be a mix of the few. You can play him as a style standby ruler, you can play him for, nighttime raider shenanigans. Like there's all kinds of stuff that you can do to Moonglow. He is very, 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 very broad and kind of in some ways ignores a lot of the floodgates that people are annoyed by right now. Like,
Yeah,
he doesn't care about his stuff that goes to graveyard. He's just trying to
Yeah.
kill you. So, like, whatever. And then he also doesn't care about really attacking your face. And if so, he probably is attacking you paying 1 for something that has multi-strike. So then he's hitting you twice. So you're just like, okay, Ruchi, you'll die. You're like, wait, stop. And also, Fire Pit Trap is incredibly good to put Ruchi a lot of clock. You're just like,
yeah.
please. Question from yesterday. Do you need a Divinity J ruler to play the Divinity runes in ABC? Nope. They just chance. The just rune cards, yes, since those cannot be in the deck in a non-ABC format. What? Oh, yes, that's true. Pure runes can't be in main decks now, right? If I remember, you can't have pure runes in the main deck. Oh, wait, no, that's not true.
Isn't it opposite? Like you are able to, or no?
We're going to look up the rules right now. Rules, ABC rules. Doop. Runes. Players can play non-chant runes in their deck. They are chants. Yeah, you absolutely can. That you do not need a divinity ruler to play them. They just are cards, as far as I can tell. You ignore that. But then you just like, none of them will have their discounted because they're not being played from a rune deck. Right, that's just something to be mindful of. I said this before to speak to my experience playing with these new rulers. I This is the first time in a very, very long time that I am absolutely mad at how good the set design is. From a content creator perspective, because I am having so much fun with every single ruler that I build, but then I have to play them once for the channel, feel like I got a good recording, and de-sleeve them immediately because I have so many more rulers to cover on the channel. And it's like, wait, no. Like, I played Viola last week, and I'm like, what do you mean I have to de-sleeve this already? This deck was really fun. I want to keep playing it. No. But, nope. Same with Kilo Dino. So I was like, man, this Kilo Dino control list is really, really fun. Well, back in the box it goes. Gotta go build Belial Asmodeus now. Like, cause I can't stop. I have so many rulers that I have to get covered for the sake of the content. And it's a blessing and a curse, for sure. I'm very excited to see what people are going to try to play at the Circuit Series event this Saturday, because it's, the first time in a bit. It's the first current competitive event since Worlds, so we'll see what people have brought there, especially the first current competitive event since the new ban list. The question on the table is, how many people bring Mask?
Over under 5.
I think it's under. I think it's under 5. I think it's 3. I think 3 people total will play Mask. Mainboarded. Mainly, especially because of the new Mulligan rules, which I do want to say, I played 3 games like before locals last week. I'm already used to doing the new Mulligan rule. Like, my brain is already like, yep, put back in shuffle. Like, I'm like, the muscle memory is already there on the new Mulligans. And it hasn't felt like it's been adding that much time. Maybe it's because it's locals and like people just very quickly cut instead of like trying to shuffle my deck after I shuffle, but it hasn't felt like it's added that much time. So I don't know. You would have to run stones that produce moon. Moon is like void, not an attribute of will. So you can have cards with moon will on them in your ABC deck. And if so, how do you pay for those abilities? Yeah, you just have to have stones that produce it. I play Black Moon's Memoria in my green black deck. It's a darkness stone that has moon on it.
Play Moonlight.
You can also play Moonlight. Yep.
Yeah.
Because specifically it doesn't have any will symbols on it, so you can use that for anything. So, yeah. A lot of cool stuff. Mike is deep in thought because he hasn't been paying attention, which is fair because we're talking about current format Force of Will. Mike, if there was a ruler from this set, Phobias, Tank Lady, Moonglow and his 1 million different stealth variants that you can play, Tree Boys, or who's the last one? Phobias and Shark Lady. Which one of those rulers do you think you would actually, like, if we handed you a deck on Tabletop Simulator that you would like consider playing in an OLS?
The Valentina simp in me wants me to say Shark Lady, but thinking about playing depths makes me want to not play Shark Lady.
Sure.
So I would just say Mommy.
Okay.
Mommy's would be
Okay.
good.
Good old Giotto Sansa. You heard it here, folks, guys. Let's get a Giotto Sansa list for Mike Ranson. He'll play in the OLS this Friday. Here we go. Let's go. Play it on Tabletop Simulator. I'm signing Mike up for things.
Sign me up for Mommy.
The ABC rulers that came in as well. Listen, don't get me started. I have to build Gnome. I have to build Undane. I have to build Aristella. I still have to build those. I have a lot of rulers to cover. I am in agony as I try to burn through these rulers as fast as possible before Masterpiece 2 comes out in 2 months. It's crazy.
10? You have like 10 weeks?
Yeah, I've got some time. I mean, thankfully, if I can get an Alex and a Giotto Sandsta, not against each other because I don't think that matchup would be very fun. Although maybe Alex versus Giotto, or an Alex and a Giotto list recorded this week, then like I have the big focus of the new set already covered, right? Because the feature match this week is Yigse versus Viola. So that's 4 because we did Moonglow versus Ruchil already, right? So that's 4. So like got through that set pretty quick. And again, if you're not a member already, this is a big thing too. If you're not a member already, there's a big reason to try to join the channel as a member nowadays, which is that we are now doing the Rework Ruler Rumbles, which is a bonus POV style feature match every single week. That is me trying out a rework protocol ruler, trying it out, giving my thoughts on it, and then the deck profile and our thoughts we make as a post on our community page. But if you want to see the actual match and see it play out for yourself, you have to be a member to check that out. So those have been pretty fun. I think people have been liking them. So, consider joining the channel as a member if you haven't already.
It's been pretty fun to watch, actually. That POV camera.
Yeah.
Like, locals, it's just like
just hanging out. I want to try to maybe get some ABC recordings on it too, because I think that would work well for the ABC format to do some like casual gameplay that way. But we'll see. But yeah, AKA, all things considered, things are good right now. I'm enjoying current cards. ABC format is fun. We have a big collab that I just mailed out the cards for today coming on the channel, so that'll be exciting. Good times. I don't know. Mike, any closing thoughts?
He's muted. Oh,
I am muted. I just realized that.
Yeah.
My bad. Closing thought. Obviously, I haven't really been paying attention to the new ruler talk at this point.
Sure.
But assuming that New Frontiers becomes a thing that might get supported, maybe I will have thoughts on new ruler stuff coming very soon.
Hey, look at that. And are you any closing thoughts from you?
Just looking forward to playing in the event this weekend, honestly.
Yeah, I'm excited to see
play,
what y'all
so.
bring. You can sign up right now on rulerschooltcg.com. Just go to the merch section of it, and then you can buy your ticket. For that way, you hope to see y'all there. So thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, this has been myself, DMO73, with Wu Jia Wu hanging out in the background there, permanently guarding me. He's not a cat. Don't worry about it. And as always, I'm joined by Mike Rance.
Goodbye, Jeremy.
I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. And Ayush.
Have a good night, everyone.
Class dismissed, everybody.